All right, all right. Good evening, everybody. Good evening. Lakeisha McKnight is here. We are live. And of course, I welcome you, everyone. Welcome, welcome, welcome. This is the Project 5000 campaign special live stream. And so, my biggest question as we're about to dive in is, have you ever decided within that you have a big dream, but you also need a big vehicle to help you to accomplish that dream? Well, a part of the Project 5000 campaign, we're going to educate you, inform you of a special wealth building system that's going to help you to accomplish those big dreams. So definitely stay tuned as we are about to dive on in. So again, welcome everybody to this very special live stream. So we're going to make sure that all is well, of course, with our video here, making sure that our audio is good. So if you're watching this right now on my timeline, go ahead and let me know in the comments area if you can hear everything clearly. Of course, if you can see me clearly, we want to make sure that all is well right now. So feel free to do that. Also, you can do a couple of other things. You can establish watch parties. You can do your own streams as well, right? Sharing this on your timeline. So feel free to do this as we are jumping right on into tonight's very special broadcast. So again, thank you so much. I see some people saying we're good to go, that you all can hear me clearly. And so that's great news. Great news. So again, thank you so much, everybody, for being here live and very present. Okay, so as we're here, once again, go ahead and like or love the stream as we are here live. Go ahead and do that. You can also feel free to comment at any time during this very special live stream. You can comment. Okay, so leave a comment below. You can ask a question as we're going through this. And then, as I mentioned before, you can share this on a timeline. You can share this on a fan page or maybe even in a special group that you want to include this on. So again, welcome everyone. We're about to dive in and talk more about the Project 5000 campaign. You see, this was an amazing campaign. We started on May 20th, okay? And we have a goal of going to September 20th with this campaign. We want to really equip 5,000 leaders with access to this amazing wealth roadmap to reach your first $1 million. Now, if you've ever dreamed of being a millionaire, this is a roadmap that you would want to make sure that you can access. All right. And so again, thank you to all of you who are tuning in, who are coming in on board, and definitely trying to chime in onto today's this stream here on tonight. So we're going to have some special guests, and of course, I'm trying to bring them on in. So let's see if we can get this going. All right. So let's see here. We have a few amazing people. I do see that one of our guests, we're going to try to get him in here. All right. Let's see if we get it in. Let's see if we got it. On one of the guests, and I believe both of them should be together as they're coming in on board. So let's see if it's all going to work out. We're praying that it does. All right. But thank you so much, everyone. Feel free, if you want to have a notepad and a pen, you want to make sure you have that out so that you can jot down some notes. Okay. And remember, for those who do any of these live streams, make sure that your phones are on landscape mode. It has to be in landscape mode in order for you to be able to accept the invitation to join someone's live stream. You cannot join the live stream if you are using the portrait mode. It has to be in landscape, okay? So make sure that it's in landscape mode in order for you to accept it. All right. So good evening, Pastor Val. Good evening, Alicia. I do see some amazing people tuning in. I see it's Saturday Accor. All right. Saturday Accor. I do see that you said information. Yes, sir. So we're definitely going to be able to share some information with you. We have some good information that we're going to be providing you all with. So our special guests who we're going to bring on in just a few moments is Kenneth and Christina Wright. Their phone situations are in order, so they'll be able to join in. But in the meantime, okay, what I am going to share with you is just something that I came across, of course, 2.5, 3 years ago. See, before all of this got started and I began to share information about this wealth roadmap, I will share that my primary focus was upon helping to establish leaders amongst women to become influencers in their industries, using their stories, okay, to be able to increase the sales in their companies. So your story can definitely revolutionize the lives of so many amazing people. And so that's what we intended to do as a part of the John Maxwell team. And so that's really at the heart, of what I do, helping to establish leaders around the world. So in doing that, I came across a powerful quote by a man by the name of Warren Buffett. Okay, anybody that knows Warren Buffett, you already know that, he's powerful. And he said, if you don't learn how to make money while you sleep, you will work until you die. And I knew for a fact for myself, my goal was to really, reach past 100. That's the goal. And I definitely don't want to work beyond those years. I want to enjoy those latter years. And so my husband and I, we prayed for a solution. And here you are, with this particular wealth building roadmap here, this wealth building system, and it has positioned my husband and I, we will never have to work a job again. Our 3-year-old and our 6-year-old, they are well on their way to the point where when they turn 18 years of age, instant millionaires. That's what they are. Okay, they're millionaires now, but of course they will truly understand it. Right now, all they care about is Baby Shark and Paw Patrol. That's it. So let's see if we can get our amazing guests onto the platform. I just shared a little bit about my story, but I want to definitely bring on our guests. Let's see if we can get our guests on here. So it says that we're adding on our guests. Let's see if we can be successful with our task here. No problem, Mr. Accor. We'll definitely make sure we contact you, okay? No problem. All right. And so again, that's something that really struck home for us, my husband and I. We wanted to make sure that we had something in place whereby when we slept, we made money. I want to be on the stage, okay, all of my life, and just feeling like I had to be before an audience in order to feed my family. There was going to come a point I knew where I wanted to enjoy those latter years. I wouldn't want to feel like I have to be in a hotel and on an airplane, missing those important years of my kids' lives. And so I had to figure out, what is it that we needed to do? My husband and I, we had to pray and really seek God and ask God for some answers. And so that's when my cousin came along. He shared some information with my husband and I about this amazing wealth building system. And so we plugged in, we got some information, we tuned into the calls, the webinars, and we became strong advocates for this system. Okay, strong advocates. Okay, so we're going to try. We do see another request one more time to try to approve our guests. Let's see if we can get it on. Okay, let's see here. It says adding one more time. We're going to try to bring our guests in. Trying not to block our camera here with my fingers. There we go. There we are. Hey. All right. I know it was some trial and error, but we did it.
Yes.
We did it.
Good
we
evening.
did not give up.
Hold on.
No problem. No problem.
Trying to get it straight. Okay. Can you see both of us good?
I see the both of you too. The power couple. How you doing? Everybody look.
Can you hear?
Yes, we can hear you good too. This is Christina. Okay. This is Kenneth Wright. I'm just glad that you all were able to make it on. So again, thank you so very much. All right. And so just to kind of kick some things off, I know you all plugged into this amazing wealth building system. And so for the both of you, share with those watching, what were you doing with your careers before plugging into this amazing system?
You want to start? You want me to start?
Go ahead.
Okay. So before I found Karatbars, about 6 months before that, I had just left the banking world and I was in the insurance world. And honestly, at the time, I was praying because the insurance industry wasn't really what I thought it would be. Mm-hmm. And so I was just, looking for solutions. I was still helping people in finance because my background has always been in financial services. I was a realtor at a point in time. Of course, I did banking and I was a mortgage loan originator as well. So, when I left the 9-to-5 world, it was to help people in areas of finance. Mm-hmm. So I was kind of in a seeking mode at that point. And I was connected to you through another friend. And I just listened to, you know, your, you do audio streams in the evening, and I heard a few of them, and I was like, okay. And you were talking about gold, and you were talking about wealth. And you, of course, gave your website. I went and I checked it out. And it was for me, it was like that missing piece of the financial puzzle. Having worked with money and finance for like 20 years, it was like that missing piece of the finance puzzle. So it just made sense. And so I signed up. But having been in other network marketing opportunities, you know, it sounded a little bit too good to be true, but I said, you know, it's worth, you know, checking it out. And so honestly, I sat back for a few weeks and just kind of watched and listened. And, you know, you had sent me the information to plug in. So I started plugging in on the calls. And the more I heard, the more it just made more and more sense. I was just like, whoa. So it was, for me, it was like that life-changing information. Like, where has this been? You know, so
Like,
that
where has
was
this
it for
been
me.
all my life, right?
Yeah, right.
Right. And how about you, bro? How about you, Kenneth? How, you know, what were you doing before plugging in the carrot bars?
Um, Before plugging into carrot bars,
Mm-hmm.
um, actually, I'm a truck driver.
Mm-hmm.
Before that, I was working for the government. Actually, working for the United States, the commissary.
Yeah.
So that's what I was doing before I plugged into carrot bars. Um, I'll say you know, everybody have a dream, and I knew from the beginning that I was a leader, and I knew that I was supposed to be doing something.
Mm-hmm.
I grew up in a household where I'll say, you know, I wouldn't even push to go to school. You know, I went to school because I knew it was priority.
Mm-hmm.
You know, growing up the way I did, we was told, you know, get an education, you know, go to college and, you know, find a good job.
Yeah.
You know, I was told that, but at the same time, I wasn't pushed to do that. You know, I was looking at another way of life. So before I was doing carrot bars, before working for the government, you know, I did go down the wrong road at first. For anybody that don't know, and for anybody that think there's no way out, I was involved in the underworld. You know, I did sell narcotics. I did run the streets. And I was in trouble with the law, you know, quite a few times. But you know, I thank God for, you know, delivering me from that, putting me around the right people. So from there, you know, he put me around the right people, brought good people into my life, good people that showed me how to lead. Before leading, you know, I was a follower first. You know, I looked at the things that they did and that attracted me. So, you know, I went out there, you know, found a decent job, you know, and I worked my butt off. And, you know, through all them years of working, I said, you know, this is not for me.
Right.
So I did that, and I got into trucking. I'm currently driving trucks right now. So, you know, that's my full-time job. And I'm working on my fortune part-time, which is carrot bars.
Right.
Christina, she did introduce me to carrot bars. So I'll say she don't have to say a whole lot to me. You know, she say, I think this is good. You should look into it. So she introduced it to me, you know, even while I was driving trucks. And I said, you know, I'll look into it. She said, did you register yet? I kept saying, you know, I'll do it.
Right.
You know, we go by, I'll do it. So I finally, when I got tired of her saying, did you register? I finally went and did it. So looked into it and I said, this stuff is interesting, and, I felt like the vision that I was looking for, the vision that God placed in me, in the Bible, God tells you, any thoughts or imagination that you have, take it and bring it down to the beams of God. So you take that thought and that imagination and you take it and you bring it down and see, do it line up with God. If it lines up with what God is saying in the Bible, then that is what he wants you to do. You go ahead and keep pushing it. If it's not the right vision, take it and cast it away. So, it just, Carrot Bar's just been very good to me.
All right. All right. And this is one thing that I heard you say, Christina, too, was that you said that it sounded too good to be true. Now, of course, I'm probably going to need you to elaborate because I know most people who, when they come to this and hear the information, that's probably what they're thinking, that it's too good to be true. So when you first heard the information, what made it too good to be true for you? Like, what was it, what was shared with you, or what did you hear that kind of like stood out to you the most?
It was simple, and that, yes, how the simplicity of the system, but also no obligations, no minimums. It was like you move at your pace. And, I've been in other network marketing opportunities where they'll promise you something and then it's something totally different when you get in. So I loved that they did exactly what they said. Like I said, you shared the information to plug in, but there was no, hey, you haven't done this yet, or why haven't you done this, or anything like that. It allowed me to acclimate myself to the information, to the system. And literally was totally my choice and my option of, buying a package and how much gold to acquire. It was totally optional. And that's what I thought was amazing, because it was free, number one, to register, right? So no credit card, none of that. So I was like, okay. And then you get in it and you can move at your own pace, because one thing what I tell everybody about Care Bars is the biggest asset to Care Bars is the education.
Yes.
And having been in finance for so long, like I said, it was that missing piece of the financial puzzle. And even sitting at one of the meetings and Mr. Ty Best saying, and him being a multimillionaire and saying all the financial people he's talked to, no one ever said those simple 3 words to him. And I was like, wow, so like I said, it was eye-opening. The education has been phenomenal. It's just opened up a whole nother world. But for me, like my personal story, 7 years ago, I literally was starting my life over from scratch. And I had lost everything. I was a single mom, 2 children. And when you lose like that, you wonder. And I know I prayed and I told God, I don't know how, you can overcome certain things that you go through in life. And
look, don't cry.
I
Look,
would say the Carrot Bars.
I don't have no tears right now. Go ahead.
I would say through Carrot Bars, it has been that answer, answered prayer of how do you overcome, but it's just a testament of God's faithfulness, that when you trust him, he will make a way out of no way. And I hear when I'm on the calls and things, it's like a kindred spirit with the family of Carrot Bars. Yes. Because a lot of people are saying the same thing. And because I worked in financial services, I know people are going through this, right? I know they're going through this cyclical financial situation where every so often they find themselves down or they've lost everything and they wonder, how do you make up the time? And that's the thing about money and finance. How do you redeem the time when you lost everything? or when you lose half of what you thought you had, you know, how do you redeem the time? And that's what Carrot Bars has been, that answer. It absolutely has been a miracle and a blessing. It really has.
This is some good stuff. Now I know you, one thing you said that was real powerful was, you know, the education that you receive, and we constantly remind ourselves the importance of doing engaging in personal development and professional development. So Kenneth, in thinking about this, how has, you know, plugging into this wealth building system helped to renew your mind about money and about wealth building?
Well, like I said, it was like the next level to finance. It was all the things I've always thought confirmed. You know, I never had a lot of faith in like the stock market, right? Because I've seen the loss that occurs. But Carrot Bars was kind of like that system that said, yeah, that doesn't really make a lot of sense. Why do you have to, why are they advising you to put your money in something that you're going to lose in? That you really don't have a way to stop the loss. You know, even if you have a financial advisor, they can't stop your losses. They might be able to limit it, but not really, because they don't necessarily have the inside information of when something's going to go down or whatever. So it's just like a gamble. So for me, it was like that next level of information about money and how you really build wealth. It's honestly something I've constantly thought about. How do you really build wealth? You know, and understanding that we've been sitting in a system of debt, right? With the dollar, right? And debt begets debt, right? And the only way you can turn that around really is to get in a system of wealth. That's the only way. So
you mean to tell me what we were educated on to graduate from high school, go to college, right? Get a good job, and even some, you know, encourage you to go back to school for a master's or some type of graduate degree, only to get this paper here? Are you mean to tell? Okay, so let me see if everybody can see this real clear. Okay, everybody see that at the top? It doesn't say Christina's note. No, don't say that. It don't say Kenneth's note up there. It doesn't even say Lakeisha's note. It says the Federal Reserve note. It should have said Federal Reserve's note with an apostrophe S. That's what it really should have said. It really does not necessarily pertain to us. It is the government's money. And as a matter of fact, everyone, this dollar that you see is really worth only about roughly 3 cents right now. And so it's really not much to be able to do anything with except paying your bills, because you know you still have to do that, take care of your daily responsibilities. That's what you do with it. This is what the wealthy do. They spend these. But within this system, okay, you're able to get gold. Now, this is an example so that people can see, people like visuals. This is an example of 1/10 of a gram, okay? Now, when you began to become educated about getting gold like this and becoming an owner of gold, like physical 24 karat gold, how has that changed, you know, your family's dynamics for both, you know, both the two of you and your children?
I feel wealthy just by holding it. Just by holding that gold right here in our own home, I mean, you feel wealthy. I can say that dollar that you held up, that currency, fiat.
Right.
You can chase that all you want. You can chase that for the next 10 years, but guess what? You'll never catch it. I have no problem with higher learning, higher education. But when you finish, that same dollar that you held up, you might make it, but you're going to be giving it back. You're going to be making half of what you paid. It just been awesome. You know, just to purchase real gold, hold it in the house, and you know, and I'll look in my back office every now and then, and I just say, wow, the dollar's just moving up on it.
Right.
You know, the value just moving up. Something's got to be going on for the value of that gold to be moving up like it's doing now. You know, so you could hold $1,000 worth of gold in your account, and you can turn around and look at it a week from now. You know, it's $1,030. You know, that's how fast it's moving. You can't say that about investing in the stock market
or insurance.
You know,
because we have that too, right?
You know, and
so I look at my journey and the different trying the different financial tools and then comparing it with this. It's like no comparison. Wow. But my mom recently got her first shipment, and she was so excited to be holding gold, and it was just amazing to see her light up. And and she's becoming more vocal about it. But yeah, it's really, it is kind of, I would say it's spiritual to some degree when you're holding gold, and the difference that it makes in you when you hold it. Yeah, I think so.
Powerful. One thing, of course, that we've learned being plugged into the system, Robert Kiyosaki says, look, if you want to make $10,000 a month, you need to be carrying on your person or in your home at least $10,000 worth of gold.
Yeah.
Right. Many people talk about making this passive income, which you can with this wealth building system, but he who has gold attracts wealth. And so for those of you who are watching this, if you don't have gold, you're a little bit behind the curve, but it's never too late to start. Right. You can start tonight as you're watching this particular broadcast tonight. Right now, you can get in contact with the person who shared this video with you. Get in contact with Kenneth, get in contact with Christina. Let them know that you want to get plugged in. You want to increase your net worth, the value, of your family, the generational wealth that you're seeking to build every single day, and I'm just grateful. I'm grateful every single day. I wake up knowing that my net worth has increased. I'm just like, okay, Lord. In addition to some other things I got to prepare for, because for those of you who are believers, you're not necessarily focusing in first thing in the morning on your wealth. You're like, well, let me get my mind right, first of all, because this battle is real,
yes,
and starting in the mind, first of all. So you're like, okay, got to get this helmet of salvation on, got to make sure everything is good, everything is right. But, when it's all said and done, right? When it's all said and done, you want to make sure that before you leave this earth, that you leave generational wealth. For so long, many people in our culture and just people in general leave debt. You don't want to leave debt. Something that your parents and, your kids have to worry about taking care of. You don't want to leave that. And so when it comes to generational wealth, how easy is this to be able to pass on to your children, for example?
Extremely, sorry, something just popped up. Extremely easy. I mean, we're educating our children. I think that's the most important thing. We're educating them about why, because they can see a difference. They can tell something's happening. So they've even listened in on the power call.
Powerful.
Sorry, we paused.
No problem.
But they see the difference. They're understanding that it's something different that's happening, and educating them about money, about the job, right? Because introducing us being introduced to carrot bars shifted our mindset about jobs. Jobs have been so normalized. We don't think about it like we have gifts and talents that we can give to the world that don't. Not to say there's anything wrong with a job, but maybe you can give your gifts to the world in a different way outside of a job.
There's only one problem with it.
What?
How easy it is to transfer or turn over generational wealth. Is the wealth that you're building is yours.
Right.
It's yours. It's yours to give to them. The bad thing about, like she said, there's nothing wrong with working a 9-to-5 job, but the worst thing about that is you can't give that to your children.
Oh, yeah,
You
better.
can't,
Yeah.
whatever your child name it, you can't put their name on that job.
Right.
You can't, only thing that you could do is go to your supervisor and tell them, ask them, can you hook my child up?
Right.
That job would not be there.
Right. Yeah. Yeah.
Woo,
Yeah.
and everybody's gonna say, well, you know, we met to see if we can create an opening.
Right.
And you just, the possibility of that is slim to none. Okay. Unless, okay, I don't want to get too technical. This might not be the stream for that. You know, just look, okay, no, I'm not even gonna get into it. I'm gonna leave it alone. We have live on Facebook and they might shut me down for that. So you already know the route I'm gonna go down, okay? So, you know, it may have a little bit to do with the melanin, you know, the melatonin in our skin. But anyway, I digress. And I say this, okay, that it's important that you create those opportunities.
Right, right.
That we be in position where we can just help other people, you know, whether they want to, because we're still going to need people who work and have jobs. Somebody's going to need to cut the grass, right?
Yeah.
Somebody is going to need to, you know, to be able to clean up the home, right? I'm not saying that, you know, people out there should get like these super duper huge mansions of homes. Trust me, because that's a lot of work. And you don't want to just be extra, you know, with what you get. You know, it's just you and your husband, but yet you got like 10 bedrooms. Like, what are you doing with all this? It's just extra. You say that you have it, and then it gets dirty. Who's going to clean it? You're going to really hire somebody to clean a 10-bedroom mansion, and it's just you and your spouse. That doesn't make any sense. So you want to be realistic when it comes to setting goals and to, you know, whatever it is you want to do with your wealth. And so that's what they teach us, a part of this wealth building system too. Look, they're preparing people so that when, for example, the coins, we have cryptocurrency coins, by the way, too. We're going to talk about that just a little bit, But when things begin to mature, okay, they're preparing us and encouraging us to get our mindsets prepared, and not just our mindset, but they connect us with people who are already extremely wealthy, and they have teams of people in place, and they're sharing with us the type of individuals that we need to have a part of the team. And let me just share with those of you who are watching, when we go to some amazing, we call them family reunions, but when our wealth building team comes together, we come together twice a year for an event called Let's Go Weekend. And this is where everyone plugged into this wealth roadmap, we get together in Atlanta. And during this event, let me tell you, stuff that you don't get at the colleges or the universities, you get there. Hands down. Like, there are some things where I know some people who majored in business and finances in college, they didn't get any of this, any of it. So I know it's extremely valuable. I mean, we even had, my husband and I, we just recently had a one-on-one session with someone who just, we just sat there at the screen and we just looked really dumbfounded. We were just, we just looked at it. We were just like, he was like, do you have any questions? We were like, we really didn't know what to ask. There was just so much that we were just thinking about, and he was just pouring into us. And that's the type of family we have. And then he was just like, he asked a question, well, we can have another session. I'm like, what? So yeah, it's just amazing. It's just amazing, everyone. I don't even know where I'm going with this. It's just so much. Look, we have some amazing mentors too. Mr. Ty Best, he's right here in the Tidewater area. He's the author of this amazing book. I have to put a plug in it. Shameless plug. You guys have to get a hold of this book. It's the Dream Chaser Manifesto. And it tells you everything that you really need to know for those of you who are dreamers. You have a big dream that you want to accomplish, and anybody can read this, whether it's your 8-year-old kid, okay? They can read this book. Anybody can read this book, and you can read this book in a day too, a couple of hours, really.
Yeah.
Okay. And so these are just some of the examples of personal development stuff. Of course, I'm gonna put a little shameless plug in here too. If you want to become a leader, you want to make sure you get that book. But let me just share something else with you. If you want a good, quick read and you want to see some amazing people who are actually featured in magazines, you might want to get this as well. It's kind of big, but she's actually featured in a magazine. Like it's the Leadership TKO magazine, right? And so you would have to go to the website to find that, leadershiptkomagazine.com. But she is actually featured in the magazine. So look, if you want to read about her Carrot Bar story, if you want to get a copy of this, again, that's leadershiptkomagazine.com, or of course, just get in contact with Christina or myself, and we'll share with you how to get a copy of it. But I tell you, I mean, this system is amazing. So what it simply does, let me just put it to you in real simple terms, everybody. For those of you who are watching this and you're like, well, what do you do with the system? You get an education. What do you do? So here's what we simply do, okay? We simply exchange this, okay, right? And we get this. Here's a liability. This is what the government says publicly is a liability. So it doesn't add to us. Remember, liabilities take away, right? It's like something you owe. In other words, like another fancy way of saying promissory note. Okay. And so you're doing a divine exchange. So you're exchanging this for this, a liability for an asset. Okay. Some people think, are you buying gold? Nope. We're just simply exchanging. That's what we're doing. Okay. We're allowing this to grow in value. And that's what it's doing. Gold is at an all-time high than it's ever been in quite some time. And so that's why we're strongly encouraging people to start stacking this, because this is going to help you build wealth. This is going to rust, okay? And the more you keep it in the bank, let me tell you, the more money the banks are going to make. Keep keeping it there. Go ahead. If you want to make the bank wealthy, keep your money in the bank for some time, okay? Right. You'll notice that even the $5 you might have in the bank, guess what? It's going to slowly drop to $4 and $3, because those little fees that they may not have told you about is going to eat on that $5 that you have in the bank. I have to remind myself we're only here for a short time, but boy, so you want to get your hands on this, and this is what we call cash gold, and we're going to educate you about that, because we have trainings, calls, just about every day. Every day. I mean, it's just amazing. Like, there's so much we can share with you, but the simple thing that our mentor, Mr. Doctor, I'm about to call him a doctor. Maybe the Lord just wants him to be a doctor, Dr. Ty Beth.
He might get that.
He might get an honorary doctor. I don't know, Mr. Best. I don't know. But, the whole point of it is that he keeps it so simple. So, Christina, Kenneth, what is it that Mr. Best shares with us, that's real simple about the system? What is it that we do, simply put?
Well, he keep it simple anyway. Save gold, buy a lot of coin, tell a lot of people, make a lot of money.
That's it.
That's all we do, everybody. The system is real simple. Now, there are some little things that you do in between, right? That you have to prepare yourself so that you'll be able to get the gold, right? So we told you it's real simple. You're registering for a free gold savings account. That's what you do. Free. There's no mandatory fees, as Christina said. There's nothing required of you. There's nothing mandatory that you have to do. The only thing that you want to make sure you do, like the only way to lose with this
is not get in.
And even when you're getting in, you want to make sure you take action. Right. So things begin to be smooth. Anybody can register for this, but you want to make sure that you begin to take action. Take action, begin to get some assets. Again, we already said this is only about $5. That's the very, if you just want to start at $5 and do this, manually a month, or you can set it up where it's auto exchanging. You can set that up. That's something that you would set up on your own. You can do that. Now, we already spoke about cash gold, but this is classic. Okay. So the difference is that, of course, the formatting, this is, of course, paper, right? And this allows you to get access to some of the other assets that the company has, by the way. But this here is classic. This is what we use to save for the long term. Okay. So if you want to save for the long term, remember we talked about how, it's important for you to have a certain amount of gold on your person if that's what you want to make per month as far as revenue. You want to make sure you save in this. Okay. Robert Kiyosaki, who was very, very, very wealthy man, who he also saves in gold, by the way. And one thing he says is that, if you want to have that revenue coming in, $10,000 a month, have $10,000 worth of gold on your person. But one thing that struck me that's really important, and I think our founder mentioned this, is that in a time of crisis, that to prepare yourself and your family, you want to make sure you have about 100 grams of gold. Right. And so why are we talking about financial crises? We just spoke about how this here doesn't have much value, right? And this is the reason why there are about 5 countries right now that are contemplating. One of them, I believe, actually did, but 5 countries contemplating removing themselves from the dollar. 5. Okay. One of them, Russia, the other, China. You have Iran and a few others who are following suit. So we want to be careful. And then there's also, on the flip side of things, here in the country, 16 states who accept gold as money. 16. So when we need to buy some groceries, some bread and some milk, listen, you want to make sure you have this together. There are countries who are suffering right now. They're experiencing what we call hyperinflation. This is where, the value of their currency is just really dwindled. And then, of course, the prices of the goods and services is like through the roof. So they have to pay 100, whatever their currency is, just to get a gallon of milk or a loaf of bread. That's ridiculous. That's ridiculous. And no one wants to be caught in those situations. You want to be proactive. You don't want to be reactive and thinking, oh my gosh, now that the storm is here, I got to go out in the storm. I got to go out in the storm and try to get me some gold. You want to make sure you have the gold already. Okay.
Yeah.
You'll be able to do what you need to do. And you can actually use this. If you go to a pawn shop, they're probably not going to want you to leave until they try to persuade you to give you, for you to give them your gold. They know how valuable it is. They really do.
They do.
So, Kenneth and Christina, feel free, of course, share with those who are listening and watching right now, what is it that they really need to know about this wealth building system and why now is the time to plug in?
I would say it's not a scam. It's not an MLM. It's an e-commerce company. Yeah. So, whatever your preference is, everybody needs gold. So whatever way you want to use the system, whether you want to build a network and have a business, or you just want to acquire the asset, everybody needs gold. Pick a lane and get some gold. Yes. Cryptocurrency is like the acceleration of your wealth. So if you want to get the cryptocurrency and accelerate your wealth, you can do that. But it's all optional, but everyone needs gold. And this system is so inclusive. Whereas I've seen the financial world be very exclusive, meaning a lot of people are out in the cold. This system is not like that. It is for everyone. Anyone can get in and use it, because there are no requirements. So everyone needs this. Everyone's not paying attention. We are. We're telling you, everybody needs this. Everybody needs some gold. They need to protect their labor, what they work for. Yeah. And don't be afraid. Nobody's going to harass you. Just get in and protect your family and build wealth. It's really simple.
I like the truth. I don't like nobody to give me cotton candy. I like to be fed meat and potatoes. So I say, to the people out there, move the scales from your eyes and realize when somebody's really trying to help you. the word crisis just, it makes me shiver. And I don't think people understand what crisis mean. And I don't think they understand that everybody is subject to the crisis. You know, I even had visions while I'm, up, eyes wide open. You know, I hate to see, people walking around trying to find food for their children, struggling. I'll say, listen to us. If we're telling you something, we're not telling you anything wrong. This is going to be the new form of payment. I say, get in it now while you have a chance, because you're going to be forced to get it anyway. But you're not going to be able to get it the way that we're getting it in small increments. Carrot bars specialize in dominations of small increments of gold, 1 gram, 2.5 grams, 5 grams. So I say, if you don't get it now, later on, you're going to have to go through X, Y, and Z to get it. And it's not going to be this easy.
Yeah.
Wow. You all heard it. It's simple. And it's really simple to get plugged in. So for those who are watching this and you're like, man, I need to get some more information, I need to be fed, now is the time. And I definitely encourage you to reach out. Anybody that's shared this with you, once again, I probably can't overemphasize this. If someone shared this with you, or you might have heard about this wealth building system, from somebody else, get back with them. We have an honor system. So whoever told you about it, get back with them and let them know, hey, this wealth building system, this Carabar stuff, let me, do you have a link? And someone will be able to share that information with you so you can get plugged in. It's all about being educated and receiving the mentorship that's free to understand how to plug into a system like this. Anyone that you might find yourself in a situation where you're retired, right? And you have this extra money just sitting there and you're not knowing what to do with it. And you know that retirement money is not going to help you to truly stay retired. Okay. The average person will live 15 years after retirement age, depending on how well you take care of yourself, right? And how well you were taking care of yourself prior to retirement. And so, and I really don't like using that word because, it's not in the Bible. But but the whole point is you want to make sure you're preparing yourself, okay, to be able to enjoy those latter years so that you're not feeling like you have to work until you die. I don't know about you, but I spoke to God. I was like, Lord, I do want to live well into my hundreds. But if I do not want to work until my hundreds, that's not going to be pretty. Okay. I want to enjoy those years. I think about the Delaney sisters. I don't know if you all have ever heard of the Delaney sisters. It was an African American, two sisters. They lived to be like 112 and 114 or something, but they were African American women. And they spoke about their livelihood. Look it up. There was a book. I don't even know if I still have the book, but they spoke about their relationship together as sisters. They really had this close bond, but not to get far into the story. They took care of themselves, and they didn't necessarily work until that ripe age. They did some things that put them in a better position, to be where they were. And so I know they passed on by now, but the whole point of the matter is that you want to prepare yourself for that time way ahead of time.
Right.
As Mr. Best talks about. Preparation is the key. But action is too. Okay. Yeah. Talk about the dream. We talk about wanting to do things, but we drag our feet a lot.
Yeah.
And I know I'm going to be picking with you, Kenneth. We tell people and we're like, look, when you going to get in? You registered yet? You ain't plugged in yet? And hey, sometimes we just got to be reminded, we just got to take action. Sometimes we need a little fire under our feet to move. And so if you're watching this, get plugged in. I don't want to sound redundant. So again, thank you so very much, everyone. And listen, we're going to be back with, of course, more interviews because this is a part of the Project 5000 campaign. And so definitely stay tuned for next Monday's interview. We're going to have a special guest. Of course, I'm not even going to share that with you just yet. I want it to be a surprise so that you all will be ready for that guest. But again, thank you so much, everyone. Thank you so
Thank
much,
you.
Kenneth and Christina. It was a
Thank you for
pleasure
having us.
both a
It
part
was
of the
fun.
live stream. And, you know, God was just like, look, we're going to make a way. We're going to get on this platform today.
Right.
So
Yeah.
I'm
Thank God.
grateful that technology was in our favor
Yes.
today. So again, thank you so very much, everyone. Be blessed and have a great Monday. Take care,
Good
everyone.
night.
Bye-bye.